Is he wanting to take that big of a pay cut? I mean, you get the stock tips, but
Yeah, what do you mean pay cut?
what do senators make? What is their salary?
I'm going to guess 300.
Oh, I bet it's less than that.
220?
I bet it's 185. It's 174.
It's fun to laugh at senators when they say, we're voting to give ourselves a pay increase, right? All Americans can look at that and be like, what the fuck? You're giving yourself a raise? That's the most pressing issue you have? I feel like senators and representatives should be paid much more money.
I actually think you could get most Americans on board with, and listen, I'm all for cutting spending, but if you said senators make $1 million a year, however, if you are caught with one fucking stock irregularity, you're in jail.
Yeah. Or
I think that's more than fair.
Any evidence of impropriety, bribes, that sort of thing. $180,000 for somebody to do one of the most important jobs in the entire country. Seems like you're not going to attract the smartest people all the time to do that job, right?
Also, that's poor living in D.C.
You can make a shitload of money in the private sector doing consulting, any number of fields. But if you want to be a senator, it's 180, which is not a small amount of money, but it's certainly not a big enough amount of money to attract the best and the brightest. So I have no problem with drastically increasing the pay. I just don't want senators to vote for their own pay increase because that looks weird.
So then who does it?
That's probably the only way you can do it. That's where the catch-22 comes in. Like I agree with it in principle, but when it comes time for the rubber to hit the road and they're voting for a pay increase, and the pay increases aren't, every time I see them, it's like, like 10% pay increase or like 5%. That I can look at and be like, you dickheads, get back to work. But if it was like a 10x pay increase that goes into effect starting in 2031, senators get paid $1 million or more. I might be okay with that.
I would be okay with it if there was strict enforcement on all other outside deals. And if you get caught, you're in prison.
Yeah, you can't have outside investments. Like, forget about stock irregularities. You got to cash in your 401k or put in a private trust, like a real private trust, blind trust that you don't touch, you don't manage.
Why do y'all want senators to have 7-figure salaries?
My hypothesis is I want the absolute best people serving in that position. And there's a big driver out there for the brightest people to not work in politics because they can make so much more money going into the private sector. So in order to go into public service, if you're a super bright person, you might have to turn down 7-figure per year salaries to go work on Washington, D.C.
Okay. I see your logic. Okay.